We should have a good day today. Should have a good series to start it off. And of course, starting it off with game number 1, Arabia. Here
All
we
right.
go.
So best of 5 quarterfinals. The quarterfinals in Hidden Cup 3 took 12 hours. It was ridiculous. And as Dave was just saying, expect some high-level stuff here today. Now, Admiral, just like the first round, chose teal. Warwolf, just like the first round, has chosen blue. These colors do not mesh very well when fights start to happen. So I'm going to make the executive decision here, which might not be popular because I love the fact that teal's been picked again, Dave. But I'm going to actually have to make sun-shin red here just to make it, visible, to break it down. But you can actually see with Capture Age Pro at the bottom right, that little 5 indicates the Admiral has gone for this color. So Chinese against Celts, Dave. Are you a little surprised to see Celts for Game 1 Arabia?
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of other picks you could have gone for, right?
Maybe.
Like we've seen a lot of Meso Civs here. I think we saw even Tatars opening a game. We saw Bulgarians getting a win. We haven't seen Celts yet on Arabia. I'm excited because I really like the Celt kind of play style, right? With that siege and castle age, and maybe add in some pikemen there with a forward push. It's really exciting to me to watch that style.
Yeah, people speculating already because we had a pause 2 minutes in, and ready, which was spelled out, not just RDY, and then Warwolf saying okay. But Dave, I'm with you. And you know the interesting thing about Celts, right? Celts they're not as well rounded, but they're really strong if you get to certain spots. And when it comes to a Civ draft, normally you're going to see something like Chinese drafted pretty early. So I think in Warwolf's shoes, if he gets a win here, it's up against the early pick in Chinese, and he's going to be feeling pretty good throughout the rest of the series then.
Yeah, you kind of have to wonder, though, like, Chinese, are they that great on any other map? It's not like you're eliminating them from, being picked on the hybrid maps or anything like that. It's purely an Arabia Civ, so while he's eliminating a good Civ, it's not really versatile for anything else.
Yep, good point. Many players in the 16 in this event would maybe try and lame a little bit, especially considering the stakes. And Warwolf comes forward. Interesting little bushes here that we have for straggler trees. It's pretty rare for this generation, but not a big deal. And I guess for Admiral, he's just playing safe here, Dave. This seems like a meta player. I remember game 1 against Master of the Templar. We had some crazy lames, too, and Admiral was still able to get the win, which was very impressive.
Yeah, and it looks like Admiral got a hit off on that scout from Warwolf, so Warwolf can't take that straight up fight, and Warwolf didn't spot the berries at the front of Admiral's base, too. Probably the most exposed area of his base, and he's got to try to lock that down. Maybe he'll double back and see that? Okay, he's going to double back.
Sees it, and that's a big deal, too, because when you're a Drush Civ or a Man-at-Arms Civ, typically you're going to want to hit that area right there. Woodlines can be walled up a bit easier. Here we go, Admiral.
Admiral, watch out.
All right. Oh, Admiral, I see what you're talking about here, Dave. It's early, and Admiral lost HP on the scout there, and I think it almost looked like we were going to see a barracks for Warwolf. Yep, we are going to see a barracks for Warwolf, and this is after Admiral's already left the front of the base, so you should assume something's going to be up when you're in Admiral's position, but now the scout's weak, and you don't have the front of the base, and what on earth was happening there for Warwolf? It kind of looks like both players maybe warming up a little bit here in this series, and did Warwolf lose his scout? He did.
Oh my god.
How does that even happen? He already knew the TC was there. That is weird.
I have a theory behind this. Do you see that the small trees mod has somehow turned these straggler trees into little like shrubberies? And they don't really look like trees. So when you're scouting, you're just kind of like, that's an aesthetic thing. That's just part of the grass. That's not a tree. It happened to both players, Tristan.
I don't know about that. They should have trained the map, I don't know about that, Dave. But at least it's somewhat
shrubbery identification training. Like, come on, man.
Hey, $80,000 tournament, man. I mean, you've got to do what you've got to do here. But I guess it's better off for Admiral here, as Admiral's on the way to Feudal Age. By the way, this did not start as an $80,000 tournament. Thank you to everyone who's brought it up to that point. It's ridiculous. And the scouting is on point, Dave. Sees the barracks, and we'll see both in Feudal Age soon.
Yeah, he had to know, though. Like, he scouted the whole base. He didn't see mega walls and his opponent's Celts.
Yep.
So like you just assume that the barracks is coming, and I see some villagers now coming from blue. Is this going to be a forward? This is a men-at-arms forward play.
Okay, now this starts
Exciting.
to make you think, who could this be? Because there's a lot of players who wouldn't forward. 3 years ago, forward was kind of meta in some ways, but not today. So we have a player going forward, and immediately people were like, is this Vivi? Is this Yo? And Dave, I was thinking Vivi at one point with this player on day one, but then I ended up switching my pick for Vivi being someone else. So this is crazy. And actually, Admiral didn't scout this, Dave. He did not see the villagers.
He was waiting. He was waiting for the units to come out so he could track them across the map. He assumes this is just a full men-at-arms play, and Admiral, he saw where those berries were. So he's going to take a beeline to that wood line in the berries.
It's actually really important. Admiral does not have a range yet, but he did go to gold. So it almost feels like he wants to play into some type of archer defense. If this is the Fat Dragon, if this is Vivi, he's probably one of the better players when it comes to tower placement and then booming behind his forwards. And here he is with the tower. Now, he cannot see that there's a counter tower from Admiral, who Dave is playing right to the Chinese strengths, getting all the cheap technologies and playing passive behind walls right now.
Yeah, and he's gonna abandon building the tower? Okay, so it was a bait.
Yep, it was a bait. That's a smart thing to do, right? He didn't even see the enemy was building a counter tower, but maybe just felt it might be the case. And now that he sees the tower's already gone up, he says, haha, that's funny. I'm going to take your wood line.
Yeah, that was a really good play, heads-up play from Werewolf. Like you said, he had no vision whatsoever on that tower, but he might have had enough vision to see a villager like looping around from the berries.
Yeah.
As a builder, so maybe he assumed that counter tower was going down there. If he didn't have any vision on that, that's just excellent game sense from him.
That said, Dave did not go to stone at home. Okay, is now on stone at home. But since he started to build one tower and deleted it, and now has placed another one, only has 30 stone in the bank. Also did not even scout this stone, as he was actually trying to chop that tree and palisade over it to get through. But imagine seeing the stone here and thinking, oh no, I wish I could make a tower there, but I can't right now. That sucks.
That's just unfortunate timing from him. And I think that might have stemmed back to the fact that he had to replace his original one.
Yep.
And he just didn't go out to stone quickly enough, like you said. Now the archery range is up for Admiral. His stone count, he's going to have a second tower before blue.
Yeah, and that's huge. So at this point, you've seen both eco upgrades come in, the farm and the wood upgrade. Admiral's freely taking some deer. Admiral's freely taking berries. Admiral's freely making archers. Typically, when you're going for this type of a forward, you're going to want to do more damage than this in the early going. So this is looking good for Admiral with the defense.
I do like the outposts from Werewolf, though.
Yeah.
It really helps him pushing in here, because then he has clear vision. He knows how Red is walling behind. He knows where Red's defensive tower is going to be. See, he has vision on that, and he's going to bait out another one, and Red is not taking the bait, but now he goes back, but Blue goes back. Are they going to stall out here?
That was funny. That's funny. He tried to fake him out again, and Red said, no, I've lost this game before, and this will end up being pretty big here. I think, at least I don't see a world where Blue ends up winning the tower war, unless the house goes down. House is actually pretty weak. Archer's
yeah, if he
away.
can get that house with the men-at-arms. Okay, Red smartly targeting the men-at-arms to prevent them from attacking that house and driving them away. Now Blue's going to loop around with those. I mean, Red is off of stone now.
Yeah, that's true.
Blue is idling him, but these are 5 idle villagers that walked all the way across the map for Blue. So I think Red will take this trade any day.
Yeah, the tough thing now is you have absolutely no counter to archers, and the enemy's going to have fletching. So you're going to see these archers come into your base, and back in the old days, Dave, what you'd see is defensive towers and go to castle edge. You can't do that nowadays. People are too good. So you're going to see his own ranged units coming forward. I'm actually surprised that he's been able to get that and the units out already, Dave, but he does not have fletching, so he's got to be very careful about the ranged units from Admiral.
Yeah, having some problems with his housing as well. I don't even think he's building one right now. He's badly housed. Okay, he just started one. And these are the type of games where it gets very complicated, because you're constantly repairing your tower.
Yep.
You're constantly trying to snipe villagers from your opponent, but you're also reinforcing and microing your range units in the middle. So if you take your eye off one area of the map, the other area is going to struggle.
I don't know how it happened, honestly, because the timing was weird on it, but Admiral got a Vil snipe there. And Admiral may be tempted to just rush this down, Dave. And look at the reactions here from Warwolf. You know, I'm starting to feel some vibes of a player many people might have felt is already out of the tournament. Don't guess too soon, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy, man. There's a lot of players this could be, and look at the stubbornness. You got the repairs, you got the quick walls, and now more repairs probably. And now those villagers are very weak, and they have to run away.
Yeah, I'm surprised he even got those away. Look at the combined health on those
oh god
forward villagers is pretty low, and 2 of them are going to go down here. Blue a little bit late with his army to come reinforce that area.
Yeah, I think it was just a little ambitious to try. I mean, I like the idea of having 2 repairing initially and 2 in here and trying to shoot that down. That was cool. But it was ambitious to try and swap them. So he sent the weak ones into the tower and sent fresh ones forward. And again, Red has kind of been, not that he really needs to learn. By the way, lower the legend. Thank you so much again. But, you know, I think Red has a pretty good idea of how Blue's going to play this and seems to be a good meta defense macro player, Dave. And you see the micro here with Blue having the hill and Blue making a move over towards that wood line.
Blue, oh god, Blue's villagers. He made a house near that tower, but they automatically went back to try and build the walls.
Uh-oh, I hate that.
Oh, that's so frustrating. He loses another one for free. The second one is just hanging out there, and his army really struggling to do anything. Like, credit to him, he's kept the men-at-arms alive.
Yeah.
So he can pressure walls, but the army behind it, the range units behind it, he just doesn't have the numbers. And now Admiral is on the way to the castle age.
Yeah, this is sick defense. It's also, though, the power of that Chinese style. Because there's not many civilizations that can just play walls, eco upgrades, and play so passively to lead to such a strong castle age. It is, according to many, the best Arabia civilization, unless it's in certain matchups, like against Mayans or Aztecs, I suppose. So, but yeah, I see the stables there. Admiral will certainly have the food to make some knights. The tower denies a woodline, and that's it for Blue. And Blue now, he's really got to hope that he can keep some military alive and eventually get up to castle age, but the macro just seems so weak behind this.
Yeah, and an extra scout being added from Red too.
Oh no.
I like that. A couple extra scouts being added. No, actually just one. He canceled the second one, I believe, and here he comes across the map. He saw the skirmisher number for Blue, and he's going to use those to support his army, and Blue's going to struggle to get to castle age with a good position in this game. Like, he's got to try and keep his army alive for long enough, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it.
Woo, woo, woo. Denied, Dave. On the left side, so nice save there from Warwolf. Uh-oh.
Dead.
Uh-oh. She dead. And now the wolf has a different target, but, no, Dave, this would be the moment for Warwolf. This is really his best chance. Engage against these crossbows and clear out everything. Or archers before their crossbows, of course. And the fight's okay. And you might even call it a win for Warwolf. But what's not a win is that Admiral's going to be on a second TC. Admiral's going to be sending knights forward. And Admiral is just economically way ahead. But hold on a second. That TC might be a bit aggressive for now. As the villagers do need to back away. But just temporarily.
One knight should clear that, but I definitely call that a win for Warwolf. Like, you think about the potential of where he could be right now. He could be all his army dead and Red pressuring his walls. But instead, he's cleared up the range units from Red, and he's delayed that TC a little bit. So it's giving himself time to get up to the next stage, and I think he should be able to click in the next few seconds.
Okay. I'd say, just to give people an idea of the times, you're going, let's say, men-at-arm into one archer range follow-up into a lot of eco. Some of the best players are hitting castle age around 20 minutes. But here, we're going to see a castle age of about 26 minutes, Dave. That is just quite simply, considering that so little damage was done, that towers are not even denying many resources. That is just going to be way too slow, it feels like. But Warwolf, biggest moment possibly for him, and he's just going to do his best here. You know you're behind, but you know the stakes, so give it your all, and maybe go pikeman crossbow. You see some spearmen coming out. That's not a bad play with Celts.
Yeah, it feels like if there's one civ, Tristan, that can make something happen in Castle Age with some sort of all-in push,
yep,
you got to think it might be the Celts, right?
And you could even apply that logic to the player, possibly. The type of player who can go forward with confidence, I guess, is also maybe the type of player who could have some success in a YOLO position. But I'm just loving... I mean, Admiral's now got a Siege Workshop on the hill right in front. Admiral's now got 3 town centers at home, mostly producing. It is a really clean play from the Admiral, just like we said in the first round.
Yeah, after all that pressure coming forward too, he just didn't let himself take any damage whatsoever. And even, you know, seeing your opponents in feudal for so long, a lot of players would maybe overproduce military, delay the next TCs to try and, you know, finish him off early. But behind this, Admiral 3 TC, like you said, good economy and forward siege as well. So
I like how Werewolf is trying it, Dave. Like, let's get forward. Werewolf doesn't know that this is here. He's like, let's go. I got to give ourselves a chance. Let's get that Siege Workshop up. He's clicking Pikemen right now, Dave. And I guess this would be the best time to fight the Spearmen before the Pike upgrade comes in. And that's exactly what Admiral does. And that is a huge clear up for Admiral. Big eco lead. The villagers here are trapped, making a barracks. Oh, man. Disaster for Werewolf.
That's not going to go up. GG's called, Tristan. All caps.
All caps.
Hint.
All caps. Okay was all caps. GG was all caps, and the player went forward. I mean, I'm getting some big Vivier Fat Dragon vibes here, but I just don't know. There's been too many. And Dave, I'm convinced, like, not only are there 1 or 2 players from like what we've seen so far whose play style is freaking everyone out and ruining all their guesses, but I think there's 1 player who's even gone the distance as to even talk differently to confuse us, because I was going through my list and I'm like, something's not adding up here. So I refuse to really believe that too much. I'm going to have to go off of the gameplay, but certainly the gameplay here did fit Vivi. And for game 1, not too much to talk about, Dave, except for the fact that it was Admiral dominance. So much of every resource there and just excellent prep, even with the weak scout to deal with what the enemy was doing.
Yeah, and on Werewolf's end, like, maybe I know it's super tough, but pay a little bit more attention to your forward villagers.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost basically all of those for free, which is unfortunate for him, and that just puts you at an immediate 5 villager deficit. I mean, if he had pulled those back, maybe that game would have gone a little longer, maybe gets up to Castle Age faster. Who knows? But you gotta pay attention to that forward position a little bit better.
Yeah, and that and the scout. The scout is huge. I mean, I know Admiral's scout was weakened, but Admiral still had a scout to see what was going on there. Werewolf, you could consider lucky to have even been anywhere near that stone, because the stone wasn't even scouted because his scout went down to the TC. So certainly we'll need to do better with the scouting in game 2. And we have seen home maps from Werewolf before. It is Cross and Bay. Many people speculating that maybe this is a player who is kind of a meta player, or at least familiar with the maps that we're seeing a lot in the qualifier. It will be on Cross, Dave. And before we hop in, do you have any quick speculation as to which civilizations might fit?
I feel like, based on the Civ picks, it's got to be Huns for Werewolf, right? Very good cross Civ. Or Huns or Japanese, but I would probably want Japanese more on islands. And then if we're looking at Admiral's a tough one, because he needs to save Italians, I think, for islands. So do you go Byzantines here?
Yeah, I mean, I think Lithuanians would have been amazing on Cross. There's so many relics, but that was sniped out. So
it's
yeah.
sniped, so unfortunately can't use it.
Yeah, I'm with you. And let's hop in game 2 and find out. Looks like the players are being consistent with their color picks. It was actually in the rules. Not that we can always expect players to follow the rules, but with the colors they have, and they have to stick with the same color all series. I'm having a capture age error. 1 second, Dave. We'll have to wait until we get into this game. My bad. It's fine, everybody. Just say it's fine, and we will be in. Capture age is struggling to capture. It's fine. You know, when people type F, I always freak out that, like, the stream's gone down or something. Like, what just went down? All right, cool. We're into the game, Dave. We're about 30 seconds in because Capture Age missed a little bit of it. And here we go. You know, Byzantines have really shown in this tournament, David. You've had Byzantines winning on a map like Bay. you've had Byzantines doing well on a map like Cross, so it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, they've kind of come back into the meta, right? They were absent for so long. It was kind of a Civ you didn't want to play as and a Civ you didn't want to play against. But especially with these hybrid maps, their bonuses really coming into play.
And man, this map almost looks mirrored in a sense. Now, the wood lines for Admiral seem to be few and far between, but if you look at the main golds for both, they're both relatively forward. The deer, both relatively forward. The secondary gold on the backside near a boar. I mean, if you just look at some of the main resources they start with, there could be no complaints when it comes to maps. But yeah, despite Byzantines being strong, I really do prefer Huns because of that flexibility. Not having to build houses means so much in this map, and then getting to cav archers can destroy anyone when you've got the food income from a few fishing ships in your ponds. So I think, considering how dominant Admiral has been so far in this tournament, many people guessing big names for him, that combined with being down a game, Warwolf needs to get a win here on his home map.
I kind of like these cross generations as well, where the TC is more or less in the middle between two pawns, so you can make that decision. Some of them where you have a safe back pawn, it leads to a bit more stalematey games, right? But these kind of generations, blue could go... He could go west, he could go south, and he could easily sneak around to the north. And it's the same story for red on the other side. Like, he could choose one of those pawns and then easily gain access to Warwolf's pawn in the back.
And game one, we talked about scouting. It makes scouting so much more important here, Dave. I would argue that having the scout on cross is the most important out of all the maps, as we see Admiral, just like all the games, weaken that boar with the TC and finish it off here. But yes, scouting where the enemy's docked, then deciding if you want to sneak a dock up, or maybe just denying docks with that scouter is huge. As we see a dock in the north for Admiral, and then a dock here in the south for Warwolf, who's actually having a little bit of a rough time finding the shorefish, which sucks, but we'll see it now.
Admiral's getting close to Warwolf's TC now. Okay, he found the gold and he turned around. Bamboo is a bit more easy to spot than shrubbery if he ever gets close to that TC.
So, Dave, I saw a strategy on the subreddit last night, and I know that immediately makes you scared that it was like a 25 militia drush or something that someone did against the AI. But I saw a strategy on the subreddit last night, and with about 14, like 12 to 15, let's say, palisades.
Is Red gonna lame?
He might actually. Hold on. He's thinking about it. Oh! MBL confirmed? He's trying to block. He's trying to block. He could get the Vil kill. Oh, but now blue makes a gate. Are you kidding me?
She's dead, though. What a roller coaster of emotions we just had there.
Dude, and to make matters even worse for Warwolf, he's actually not doing too good in this scout fight either, because the scout has been on the hill for Admiral. So Admiral just dominant here, 22 HP versus 18 HP scout and villager down for Warwolf. That was sick, and that's the first time we've seen it in this tournament. To see a viper, sorry, someone in chat said viper. To see a villager get blocked off by the scout there during a warlord, that was pretty heads up play.
I'm not going to say that all the pro players can't do it, because they definitely can, but there's only a few players, I think, that would attempt to go for the gate there.
That was
in
weird.
That situation. Yeah.
I think what a lot of players would do is actually block the enemy scout with your own scout to get your villager back to the TC. So that gate was a little, I don't know, that was a new one for me. But since I'm so passionate about this, let me just complete my thought. If you get enough palisade walls up on the shoreline, you can actually deny enemy docks. Kind of like how you can't dock because the reeds are there. That would be kind of funny to see someday.
We used to do that in Europe map back in the day, because you knew everyone's starting position. If you wanted to troll someone, you would send a villager at like minute 2 and just start palisading the shoreline so they couldn't dock anywhere.
Oh man, of course I shouldn't be bringing this up to you, like you haven't faced that stuff before on that map. Look at the great walls of wherever over here for Admiral. My goodness. I mean, lots of palisade walls, and this build order, Dave, seems to be all about docking the enemy pond, as you see the villager coming this way, and that villager is being escorted. There's no walls over here either. I think Warwolf, I mean, you look at the uptime, being down a villager, and then possibly going to get docked. This could be a really rough game.
Yeah, and he doesn't have that extra Byzantine line of sight either.
True.
So if that goes down right in the corner, it can't go down. Actually, can't go down right in the corner. It has to go down beside that fish.
Yeah, right here.
But I still think he's not going to see it. If Red hugs that fish right next to it,
well,
he does see it.
He did see it. He checked. It's a good thing to do that. Now, he hasn't produced anything, Dave, and what he's going to plan on doing is going for scouts. Now, if the walls are all up for Admiral, which is super ambitious, then I could foresee those scouts being a problem. But, Dave, here's the deal. I don't think Admiral would ever wall like this if Blue had a full HP scout. But since that scout is weak, the scout cannot pick off any wall villagers right now, and he has to wait for the second one.
Yeah, and Admiral is definitely playing the water game because he sent another one to the west, Tristan. So he's going to have control over 2 pawns, and then he's going to be fighting for the one at the bottom. And obviously with the Byzantines, you have the superior fire ship.
Wow. So heavy pond play. I mean, we see people try and find a balance. There's no balance to this. It is water and only water, and really cutthroat play, Dave, with the lame earlier too, and now the walls. And this is unique. Not that it's not a good strategy on this map, but I'm curious to see what develops now, as Warwolf has spotted the left side and also is going to dock here as well, and has 2 scouts out now. So Admiral will have nothing else.
Well, it kind of makes sense because when you think about this Civ matchup, where did Byzantines lose against Huns? It's in the Castle Age, right?
Yep.
And if Red manages to get his eco rolling, manages to get like control over 3 pawns, as Blue goes to dock the west pond as well, and he's also docking the east pond when Red is heading over there, but Blue has the spearman there. That's kind of funny. If Byzantines get the superior eco and take it into Imperial Age, it feels really bad for Huns.
Look at this on the right side. A villager down on the other side. And now you see Admiral spot Warwolf and now wants to drop a dock here. They're right next to each other. This is so funny. I mean, they both should see each other. So I guess they'll be contesting over most of the ponds, Dave. And the only thing I'm thinking of is at least Admiral has safe fish in the north. His fishing ships are untouched, and the scouts aren't hitting his villagers. So I would prefer Admiral's position, but it's not as if Warwolf is playing this poorly at all.
Yeah, we've got 3 pawns being contested here so early into the game as well. We're not even at the 14-minute mark here, Tristan.
Crazy. Yeah, Byzantine fires do work a little bit faster in these fights, which is a pretty big bonus. Plus, the HP on their buildings goes up per age, which also helps when you're trying to keep docks up in all these different pawns. Not the end of the world for Warwolf, because he has maintained some fishing eco in the south. And he seems to be piling on some pressure with the scouts and the spearmen on, well, any pond where there's villagers.
Well, he did lose the Ville in the west.
Yeah.
He's had to send another one over there. So a little bit sloppy. He's lost spearmen as well. And there goes what is that villager doing over there?
I think this is supposed to be, he's trying to get a second dock up here, Dave. I assume he's trying to get a second dock up over here. No, this is shifting a little bit for me. Admiral, I think, is recognizing how much Warwolf is investing into the ponds to try and, control them. And you look economically, Admiral's even taking some deer, which are behind the walls, taking the berries. Not that that's not happening for Warwolf, but it's just not to the same degree, and not with the safety either. So I do prefer Admiral's position right now. And then in the right side, we've got 2 fires for both. But I mean, they might as well just keep those garrison. There's no fishing ships to contest for on that right side.
Yeah, I think mentally Admiral's already, kind of secured the west pond in his mind. So he's got the north pond, the west pond, and then he's going to try and be as annoying as possible in the other 2, as a big demo shot came through at the south there. And here come the scouts, but Admiral right on top of it again.
Seriously, yeah, right on top of it. Byzantine's getting free town watch, I think, is very helpful there. But man, that demo was so well timed. Like, you have to see the future. You have to know that he's going to eventually come in close like that, and gets all 3 kills in the end, Dave. Still, though, has not taken out the fishing ships, which is a little weird to me. And I guess he's just happy with the other situations, and actually has a fishing ship on the left side.
Oh, Warwolf, are you going to lose that villa on the right as well? The man is just trying to fish.
That one goes down too, Dave. It's a 6-1 eco lead. in terms of kills, excuse me, for the Admiral. And the Admiral is honestly looking so clean and so comfortable on a map that's supposed to be Warwolf's home.
Yeah, this is telling me that Admiral is an extremely good player.
Yeah.
Like, not that all of the players at Hidden Cup are extremely good, but Admiral's on another level here.
It really is, and it's almost so risky. The enemy Ghost Scouts to try and contest pawns, and here we are, and we have somehow a person who didn't make any lands military with all of the pawn control. Now, according to the viewers yesterday, Hera played 3 times in the round of 16. Now I see many people saying the big names in chat, Dave. But you've got to remember, the level's closer than ever here in Hidden Cup 4. So there's many, many names that this could be. But you know what's fascinating to me is that as we see the Castle Age come in for Admiral, is that I can't really think of a player I would put in, let's say, the top 5 who would go this heavy for pawn control with no land control on this map.
Yeah, but you have those walls, right? He reacted like that after the scout got killed and after he lamed a villager. He immediately went out to wall with like 4 or 5 villagers, and once those are down, like, do you really need the land control? Now he's shifting into it. Now that it's Castle Age, you know your opponent's Huns, relatively open map. So maybe now shift into some Knights, maybe? Just to do some raids?
You called Knights right as the stable's going up in the south. What a unique stable placement there. Oh, man. And that, seeing as Blue doesn't have any walls, could mean that Knights could just run right into Blue's economy. I'm getting deja vu with some of these moments in this game. I just can't pick up on where it came from. It almost reminds me of Capwatch in a way. Capwatch not in the main event, of course. How Admiral's playing this. Heavy pawn control into some eco, Dave.
I think you start out with Knights as the Byzantines, and then if you see Warwolf gets to Castle Age and starts to mass like the Cav Archer numbers, then you go for some Camels.
Yeah.
And the Camels are less to win the fights and more to just delay him from hitting your economy.
Yeah, that villager's trying to keep things alive on the left side. I mean, Warwolf is doing a great job at trying to stabilize. The problem is the damage has been done and Admiral's in a strong position, and so you're spot on this. I think the Knights are kind of a short-term thing to get more of a lead. I do like the walls prepped there for Warwolf. You mentioned Celts in game 1 and how that's a civ who can bring you back. I think Huns are the same, at least on this map, Dave, with those Cav Archers. So
Dude,
let's see if Warwolf can mass them.
In the West, devs, we need to sort out this fire ship behind buildings madness, because there are 3 fire ships and they're trying to hit that villager and they just can't. They can't.
It doesn't really make sense that you can palisade out fire. Like, isn't wood supposed to light on fire? I mean, balance-wise, Dave, it might actually make games more competitive. But certainly looks very weird. 11-1 KD right now for Admiral when it comes to eco. And I'm going to switch to the overall KD, and that's dominant. And you actually see Archer range, Monastery, and University at home for Admiral. Those buildings make me think he might be flirting with the idea of a fast Imperial.
Yeah, now he's got a Knight harassing the gold as well. He's going to see the Cav Archers from Warwolf. Probably not a surprise for him, but he can keep these Cav Archers at home for quite a while with these Knights if he keeps them running around.
Man, I just cannot believe the eco difference right now. I mean, I can, but I also can't. 58 versus 37. Warwolf, the top 16 player in the world, and Admiral's just making him look silly right now.
Admiral's already getting relics too. Oh, this is a really good player.
Wow,
he's really good.
Relic number 1 coming in. I mean, with the food income that's going to come in, a common strategy is just fast Imperial with Byzantines because it's so cheap for you. And Admiral also got relics quite early in the first series in the round of 16, Dave.
Look at how those spearmen just got destroyed by the fires. He pulled the Knights back to the fire ships, wiped up the spearmen, and now he's going to head back to the berries or to that wood line.
Small note here as we see the Cav Archers show up, and the monk is, what? How did he drop? Did he toss that relic into the monastery?
You just got to hurl it.
Like in through an open window or something? Okay, I didn't know about that. It must have been a balance change recently. But anyways, Just a small side note here, as everyone's guessing and
Blue
whatnot.
line's about to be chopped through, by the way. If Blue notices that, don't attack those villagers, dude. There's only 5 wood left on that. Come on, you had a chance.
Oh, I couldn't click it, Dave. It's tough for me to click the individual tree. If it's only 5 wood there, that would have been a big moment. Must be the one right below the one I'm clicking right now, and perhaps a little risky for Admiral to not even have crossbow yet, you know?
I think he could have made do with some camels just to push this away for a while, but since he already had the stable, but he's going to lose more villagers here on the wood line.
Now
and I think he's considering like Imperial Age composition at the moment just because of the walls and his position on all 4 pawns.
Siege workshop forward for Warwolf. I mean, if he gets to Mangonels with Cav Archers over the next 3 minutes, which is what it's going to take Admiral to get Imp, I think Admiral could honestly throw a pretty big lead right now. And there is a point where the fishing ships do expire or the fish runs out. Like in the north, there's only a shorefish there. So that's going to be 8 eco units that's no longer working. And you got Warwolf on 3 TCs, Dave. I mean, that's land eco that's going to last forever. So still is deceiving looking at the score, I feel. But I'm just curious if Admiral, like, where did the resources go? Admiral hasn't clicked up to Imp yet. Yeah, Mangonel Cav Archer could do something.
I really like that siege play from Werewolf. If you're playing Huns and you're as open as you are, like, you just have to go all out aggression, right?
Yeah.
Castle Age is your age against Byzantines. You have to make it work. And here comes the Mangonel, and that's a tricky area for Red.
Oh, you're kidding me. He's got to get a shot off here, and it's a massive shot, Dave. That's exactly what he needed. He gets 2 of them off, and now suddenly Admiral has to leave the gold. The ranges are surrounded by Cav Archers. He starts to click skirms with panic. This is dangerous.
Yeah, and this is greed. This is just greed from Red.
I think the same.
He thought he could keep this out for so much longer than he could, and there goes a second Siege Workshop, but that could be potentially denied as well, Tristan. 2 Siege Workshop foundations, and Admiral has no defense for this.
And you're trying to produce skirmishers, and look at this! The archer ranges could get rams down! How do you counter the rams? You don't have anything but crossbows, and Dave, Warwolf is back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Hidden Cup 4. This is why we show up. Who are these players? I don't know, but they've got quality, Dave.
They do have quality indeed. I mean, the Cav Archers might go down here with the army from Red, but look at how many villagers he's killed, dude. Warwolf is in the lead with economic units, and Admiral has so many of those are fishing ships.
Also, this is just straight up disgusting macro from Warwolf behind this. 3 TCs pumping, good eco upgrades, getting the farm numbers out. So to micro and then to get all the military out as well while macroing is impressive. And Admiral is just trying to stabilize Dave. And I really feel like now I'd say Warwolf almost has the lead. I know fishing's strong, but I would prefer to have rams in front of my opponent's base than not. Let's put it that way. What do you do if you're Admiral now? Against this comp anyways, right? There's a lot of siege there, but more Cav Archers will come in.
It's tough, right? Because your whole game plan was, let's take it to Imperial Age. And now you're just thinking, I'm stuck in Castle Age. Maybe if I get some good Mangonel shots, I can push him back from this position, but...
Well, there's one. That definitely helps. And it feels like the crossbows are pretty strong here. Like, I feel like they're better than the Cav Archers in these numbers. 5 rams is a lot. You know, that you could easily see this gold disappear here in a second. And maybe Warwolf gonna have to just cut his losses here and get out until the next Mangonel arrives.
Maybe a couple maybe a couple rams too many in this position.
Yeah, maybe
you wanted to add in a few more Mangonels, as we see the rams with no army. Not so useful.
Lead skirm now on the way for Admiral with new archery ranges. Start to see some farms there around that TC. Yeah, I'm with you on the greed comment. I mean, getting the relic early, all these things. There's small things that are important as we see good Mangonel micro here. But it's clearly you've got to prioritize defending from a big push that's always going to come with Huns. And oh my goodness, good shot there for Admiral.
Yeah, that was an attack ground. That was really, really nice from Red.
All right, well, Monastery ejects the relic, but I'm more thinking about the food counts now. 25 on food versus 21. Let's get an update on the fish, too. Look, you've got fish traps real early for Admiral. So he recognized that his fishing ships had taken out all the water there. Still fish left in the other ponds, but that's a lot of wood you've got to be saving up for fish traps as he just now gets horse collar for the little farms that he has.
Yeah, and like you said before, Blue's eco. I mean, he got the farms down way earlier than Red, and it seems much more stable here. But we're getting into the point, Tristan, where Red is building up that mass of crossbows and skirmishers, and he's got mangonels behind. So it's going to be really difficult for Warwolf to engage straight up against this army. He's going to have to hope for some big shots.
I feel like it's a really tough position to push, though. Like, here you've got to run past a Siege Workshop, and you never know when the next mangonel is going to pop. Great micro from Admiral, though. Really good micro, but the mangonel is going to go down to the Cav Archers, and now it could be 2 mangonels in a second. You can't push out here. And you see a castle now for Warwolf. Oh my goodness, that's right between 2 stones. One of his and one of Admiral's. That could be a great position. And a shot here, and a good 1-for-1 there for Warwolf.
Yeah, good delete there as well. A second mangonel coming out for Warwolf. Can he get a big shot? Kind of missed on that end.
I don't think this is worth it for Admiral. Okay, maybe it is, actually. That was actually better than I expected, but another mangonel is going to pop, Dave. This is a never-ending cycle. Warwolf will actually click up to the Imperial Age here in a second. The split
now,
micro here.
What do you do in Imp with the Huns? Do you tech in the Heavy Cav Archer? Do you go into a raiding unit? Like, what's the plan here?
Dave, sounds crazy, and it is costly, but how good would Tarkin be here?
Until the Byzantine player gets held, but Tarkin would absolutely demolish any range unit from Byzantines. The Pierce armor on those things is insane. And with Marauders producing out of the stables, definitely an option.
Yeah, a lot of players will just go for something like Hussar with Cav Archer, because the Hussar is going to do fine against the skirms. Micro here, so good from Warwolf as he fires uphill. He needs one more volley and won't get it, Dave. Man, these are 2 very good players. Both on the way in.
I'm kind of getting maybe some doubt vibes from Warwolf right now. I don't know why. I'm just it's creeping into my head, Tristan.
Well, a lot of people were saying that for Warwolf on day 1, but people were saying ACCM. I've also got some feelings of maybe Velez. Like Velez and Doubt both love their Cav Archers here, but I just don't see either of them going forward, which is very weird. Though Doubt has a weird forward from him from time to time. And I thought chat was kind of crazy yesterday. I know some other names are coming up right now, but I'm
Archers from Red.
I'm thinking that Red needs to attack here. That's what I'm thinking. And all right, good moment there, Dave. But maybe someone like Jordan, maybe someone like Dogal for Admiral, maybe?
Yeah, I think the thing that's thrown me off is the game 1 Celts pick going forward with those villagers like that is a bit strange. And Warwolf finally finds his way in, but he finds his way right into the skirmisher army from Admiral. Admiral knew that was coming, just enough to push that back, and now he's got 2 forces in Warwolf's base.
And this is why having some Cav would be good, right? To be able to pounce on this with some Tarkins or some Knights would be wonderful. I think it's really important.
Tarkins.
He's got chain barding actually, Dave. Yeah,
and he's got Marauders. He's making them from the stables.
Yes, let's go. The unique tech, baby. That's huge. Now, it does give Admiral some time to realize that this is happening, Dave. But Elite Tarkin, incredible against range units.
Yeah, the key word there, though, is elite. It's much better than its normal counterpart.
Oh my goodness.
It is an expensive upgrade.
Yeah, what a big shot there, Dave. The Tarkins have cleaned up these ranged units. Does this maybe indicate we'll see a switch from Admiral? I say that as he's got skirms in the front taking out Cav Archers, so
Another
I guess
big
not.
shot, left side of Werewolf space. Ooh.
Yeah. It looks like that's done and dusted there, but the thing with Byzantines is you can lose that many units, and then you're sitting pretty with 34 versus 15 still, so I think this is still a fine spot for Admiral. Economically, it's very close, Dave. And I'm still curious about the pond situation because the fish is running out, but it seems like he's transitioned nicely onto land, and it has a Byzantine castle currently defending against 2 trebuchets. I'm
very intrigued by the fact that Admiral immediately went for stables when he got to the next stage, and he's getting heavy camel rather than going Halb. That's interesting to me because I think I would prefer
Halb.
Halb in this position just because it gives you more options for later in the game, but obviously Heavy Camel going to do pretty well against the Tarkans.
No Elite Tarkin yet. Plate Barding just coming in. Feels like while the eco's strong for both, it is going to be very nice to have cheap camels, Dave, because the Tarkans don't have any discount on them. But you know what? They're doing work here. If they take out that Trebuchet, more than worth the loss, but I don't think they will. But 3 Trebuchets still for Warwolf on this hill, and that's not an easy position for Admiral to defend. I don't care what civ he is.
Still not elite on those Tarkans, so still trash units.
All right, well, both players having trash units on the field then. Oh, man, it is such a big difference. This 8 base attack, 120 HP. Feels so weak for an Imperial Age unit, and the Camels are just going to shred them, Dave. And then what do you have to counter Camels? Look at the way Admiral's even raiding with his own Tarkans that he converted earlier and spreading out his Camels. This is great play from Admiral.
Yeah, I think Admiral has successfully... Well, he's going to lose that castle position there, but like you said, it feels bad for Warwolf to push this army because he's going to have to go into all sorts of different units to counter the camels and the skirmishers.
There's just so much.
Admiral.
It's just the numbers too. I think ideally you'd have something like Tarkin and maybe Cav Archer, but you have to choose one gold unit sometimes, and he chose the Tarkin. This is why maybe Hussar Cav Archer could have been the better play. It's so tough against Byzantines. But nice raids with camels. Not the best raiding unit, Dave, but it's certainly better than nothing.
Yeah, now the Trebs are exposed from Warwolf. Here come the camels.
Oh, man. Sees an opportunity here, Dave. And if he gets those 3 trebuchets, maybe gets some bombard cannons or some rams behind us and takes out that position, that could be huge. But I will say, he hasn't focused down the Trebs right away, and a lot of them are being repaired. So many of the camels are dying underneath the castle fire.
I think he should still get them.
Yeah, should. At what cost, I suppose. And then on the other side, we had a castle go up for Warwolf that takes out villagers on gold there. And Warwolf actually has the villager lead. And the military count's still a problem, but maybe with those resources, Dave, could actually get Elite Tarkin. Or maybe just Heavy Cav Archer.
It's going to start to feel real bad for him, though, if Red ever locks down that left side of the map with a castle of his own.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like Blue's opportunity here is to get into Red's eco and maybe deny him off wood or deny him off gold, as you see him coming over to the right side with villagers of his own to try and take that gold.
There's
going to be a castle there from Red.
Yep.
It kind of feels like Blue will never be able to take a straight up fight against Red, and he's going to have to chip away at his economy, go for map control, but Red is going to get there first.
Well, you know that left side you talked about? It's not like Admiral's on stone right now. In fact, look in the north, Dave. He can't see that stone. So if he had that stone, no, he would be on that, and then he would drop a castle. But he has 0 on stone, which is rather concerning. And remember that castle in the middle denies one of his stones. So in terms of controlling the map with castles, I think maybe there's a chance for Warwolf to do that himself. I don't know if you can outlast Byzantines with Huns, but just things to think about.
Okay, all this craziness going on right now, and the gold in the south. Admiral saw those 2 light cabs coming in and tried to quick wall it. All of that craziness and still had the map awareness to try and quick wall it. I said try because the villager died, but...
It's a pretty sick game here, man. What a way to start off the day. I mean, game 1 was not too exciting, to be honest, but game 2, my goodness. But this is on Warwolf's home map. Really important that Warwolf gets a victory here. Both players getting close to 60 on food. Feels like anything's going to be possible for these civilizations pretty soon.
Yeah, now the Byzantine player is getting help. He's getting his infantry upgrades. He's going into capped RAM now. So he's going to have like his entire, catalog of army available to him. And Warwolf is going to have Light Cav and Heavy Cav Archer.
Warwolf's struggling to push, Dave. It's the problem with Cav Archers, I think, is that you're stuck in one spot, and you can only have that one group patrolling around. I do like what he's trying to do with the Treb in the middle-ish area, and I also like how he's running in with Light Cav right now, so there's got to be more of that. But I don't like 1 Treb. I like 3. Open up with 3 Trebs, but at saying that, he's actually going to snipe that Treb from Admiral. Not bad.
Is he really dropping that castle in the south?
I know.
He wants those golds, man.
Oh, geez. And his cav archers are in the back of his base right now, but they will. Nice teleport there. End up getting some kills.
Yeah, and red can easily defend against these raids. I mean, they're going to be annoying, but now that he has helm, he just patrol 5 in one area, patrol 5 in the other area, and you should be good.
Look at the micro, though, from Warwolf. Look at that. He's distracted the Halbs with those 2 light cav. One's moonwalking, and then he's able to get 2 light cav to the woodline. And now the military count is around 60 for both. The castle positions are looking good for Warwolf, and now that's a lot of cav archers on the front. It's looking good for Warwolf.
Yeah, we'll see what else. There's so many capped rams in that siege workshop. Is he planning like one gigantic push?
Maybe.
It's gonna be really tough against this number of cav archers.
I think wait for siege ram, right? You don't want to go with capped ram, surely.
Yeah.
He did find the stone, so he's on that. But he's losing ground now, Admiral. And there's another castle that's going to go for Warwolf on the left side. And then you have Admiral trying to take out the Trebs, Dave, with halberdiers. And the Trebs will have to back away. But good awareness from both players, I guess, as you see Lightcav going to get that Treb. Who are these players?
Warwolf needs, Admiral needs some more skirmisher mass here. He's pop capped right now. He's got a huge production queue, but he needs something to deal with this giant ball of cav archers.
Dave, he's getting raided to death right now, and he doesn't have Bracer or the final armor upgrade on these skirms. So these skirms are trash. And look at the score now. Look at this comeback from Warwolf when he was once 20 or 30 villagers down. So much is dying for Admiral. He has no chance to even counter right now.
This game swung like 3 times already.
Sick. Just disgusting play here. Both players clearly worthy of this spot. And Dave, I'm looking at the population now for Admiral. He does have the military pop. It's just not taking him anywhere. It's all defensive.
Yeah, and if only he saw the lack of upgrade. Okay, now he's getting Bracer. Now he's getting the second armor upgrade for those skirmishers. And it's pretty easy for him to produce his comp here. Blue just needs to make sure that he doesn't lose that massive cav archers. Because right now, red still can't deal with that.
I would say the big thing here, as we see Ram v Ram and a lot of red's Rams going down, a big thing here is actually going to be wood for Admiral. Because if you have wood, you can get food. If you have wood and food, you can make trash. But the left side's kind of contested for wood as we see a castle attempt. And that right side, too, he's kind of running out of wood back there, Dave. So if that castle were to go down as well, easier said than done, of course.
Is that another castle attempt from Blue? It is another castle attempt from Warwolf. And that one, if it goes up, would be very deadly to Admiral.
And the thing is, Admiral pretty much paid for it because that's his stone. You know, that stone that the first castle was able to deny. He then collected, and that's a great castle to place. You now have masonry, which will give that castle more HP. What a game here. 190 pop versus 180, and Admiral still refusing to quit. But another group of light cav heading right back to that wood line. He knows, Dave. He knows about the wood problem. What great game sense. And the GG's called. Woo!
That's an insane comeback from Warwolf. We thought he was down. We thought he was down and out. I mean, he lost all 4 pawns, Tristan. He lost all 4 pawns. His opponent was fully walled with an arguably better civ moving into the late game, and he managed to get through. And Admiral with the greed just wasn't prepared for it.
I almost don't know what to say about that one because there was a moment in that game where the sentiment was, Warwolf's done. He's 20, 30 eco behind. Enemy's going to fast him. And I think it was just Admiral was a little too greedy, Dave. He could have stayed in Castle Age and just boomed it out and then went into crossbows and skirms. But it was reactionary with the skirms after he started to lose eco. He was getting relics before he had map control. And man, oh man, did Warwolf make him pay here, Dave. And even with, you could argue a civ disadvantage in Imp, right? Because I think the cheap trash, the cheap camels, siege ram, all those things make it very difficult for Huns. It didn't matter.
I think Camel was a misplay there. I do. Like we saw how late he was with all the upgrades for his other stuff. I think you go skirmisher help to open up there, and you just have one main push down the middle rather than, you know, he went light cav camel. He tried to raid all the different areas, but the cav archers can respond to that. They're mobile. You just gotta force them to fight in one position and push right down the gut.
Look at how much red there was at around the 25th minute on this timeline. That really shows you. I don't know what the exact population was at that time, but I think it was 30 or 40 population lead for Admiral, or maybe a little bit less than that.
Also, no second wood upgrade for Warwolf. The game went an hour.
Ooh. Okay, someone tweeted me and said, I feel bad for Nikov because anytime someone forgets an eco upgrade, everyone just screams Nikov. Like, of all the things to be known for, poor Nikov. But maybe Nikov? I don't know, man. I don't know. But I guess he was focused on other things. Even the other eco upgrades were late, but didn't matter. And we now move on to game number 3. And Admiral has lost a game before, lost against Master of the Templar in round 1. So we have seen that Admiral likes to play on islands, Dave. What stands out to me is Warwolf. He didn't even try and draft Portuguese. He didn't even care. Like, he knows islands there. He knows the enemy has Italians. Doesn't even try and draft Portuguese or some other water civ. I guess Japanese could work, but I think this is a player who might just land on islands.
You could go for something. I mean, like, he's got Japanese, he's got Berbers, he's got Persians. All 3 of those are decent, like, water civs, right?
Okay.
So I'm feeling Japanese, and then you go Persians on Bay, but we'll see. It's going to be at a disadvantage against I assume Admiral's going to go for Italians.
Yeah. All right. Well, game number 3, the way it typically works with home maps is you're going to see players have more preparation going into it. We are 5 seconds in, and you can even see more caps from Warwolf. Warwolf says, have fun. And occasionally some of the chat from previous games will show up too with this capture rate. So, if you want to speculate here to start based on the chat, the caps lock definitely makes you think, Dave. But I'm going to switch the color for sun-shin over to red again, as we've been doing. Italians versus Berbers. You're thinking that Berbers could actually be somewhat competitive here.
I mean, the extra speed, right? That's what I'm thinking. Ships move 10% faster. That's pretty good, especially if you're going for some sort of galley opening.
Yeah.
You also have, I mean, if you're going for a landing, Berbers feel decent.
Hold on a
They're still
second.
not up to the Italians par, though.
Capture age is, there we go. We're back in business. All right, thank you. Yeah, Dave, it's interesting. You know how with Knights for years, people would say that Teuton Knights were awful because they were slow.
No husbandry. Yeah.
And the enemy Knights could always dictate the fights. You could argue that with faster ships, that you could dictate the fights anytime you want. So, that combined with a few other things makes Berbers interesting. I also do feel like that bonus would apply to the transport ships.
Yeah, but, dude, if you're thinking about transport ship bonuses, then why not go Sicilians, right? You can run through 20 ships with one of those things.
Ah, that's true. Oh, that would be amazing.
I literally ran through 20 longboats when Sicilians first came out. Transport ship with 10 bills. Just send it and you'll make it through.
Yeah, it is very fitting that Admiral has picked islands as a home map and has done well on islands because Admiral is indeed an amazing naval commander historically. Read about that guy if you haven't already. But yeah, Dave, I'm with you on Berbers. I think they can remain competitive on water. Just a thought here that maybe since another civ like Portuguese wasn't picked, which is more of a water meta civ, that there might be a trick up Warwolf's sleeve. But we will see a forward dock for Admiral. It looks like the villager's gone forward here to build a house. Normally the dock will be after that, and then where the dock is for Warwolf will tell us an awful lot.
Yeah, and I think Warwolf might be thinking of either side dock if he's going galleys or back dock if he's going for some sort of landing.
Yeah.
I think would make sense. The Italian player going forward with a dock is not surprising at all.
Okay, Twitch chat, help me out here. There is a qualifying set between Jordan and Capoch. It was game 5 in round 2. What civilization did Jordan have there? Anyone remember? Obviously, it's a civ draft, so you're going to see players pick similar civilizations. It was Berbers, interesting. And it was a landing, Dave, which ended up winning the game. And it was actually a really interesting build where you had a transport into villagers going forward to make a stable. And then right behind that, he'd actually switch up his eco and go back to wood and gold and then go to multiple docks to win water. So just something to think about if we're guessing players here.
And there's the forward dock for Werewolf. So are we going to see a landing? Are we going to see him just fight standard on water? Interesting stuff.
I mean, I would say that if he ends up playing standard on water, it's a confident water player. Because otherwise, I mean, I'd be going transport 100% in this Civ matchup because I feel Italians, which I guess we haven't talked about too much, but if you've been paying attention over the last couple days, they've got the cheaper docks, or sorry, the cheaper fishing ships, cheaper dock techs, and it's cheaper for them to go up to the next age, and that just makes them one of the best on this map. Are you at all surprised that with the faster ships that you would go forward? Like, I guess take the enemy a longer time to get to you if you're far away, and you could always get right over to them. I don't know if I'm thinking too much about this.
Well, maybe... I mean, maybe he's playing some mind games, right? Players don't really scout with fishing ships the way they used to.
Yeah, true.
For dock positions on islands. Like, they just see the Civ, they keep track of the score, and they just mentally assume a strategy from their opponent.
Okay.
So maybe Admiral, instead of going to the front with his ships at first, maybe he goes to the back. And that gives Werewolf some time, right?
Yeah. Well, this looks like a water build right now, Dave. You've got... Well, he's keeping a few on food. Oh, and it's a transport. Yeah, okay. So forward dock transport with Berbers was precisely what Jordan did do in that qualifying set. But, I mean, again, also seen people go man-at-arms with Celts. And just because some person went man-at-arms with Celts doesn't mean it's always... them. It's just Age of Empires. And Dave, he's scouting with a fishing ship from Admiral. Of course, the time that you say players don't really do that, he does it.
I said they don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
They used to do it all the time. So maybe Admiral is one of the old school water players here, Tristan.
That is a fast transport ship. And I don't think Admiral's fishing ship spotted it. He just wanted to know if the enemy had front docked. And he got reward because he can get back to fishing already. Now, I'm really curious where Werewolf will go. This is an awkward spot. You do not want to make your stable here. You want to walk further in, but you also don't want to be spotted, right?
Yeah. I feel like this is a good island formation for Admiral to defend a landing. And is Admiral going to see that?
It was close, Dave. It was close.
Was so close, man.
Doesn't see it. And this is where you need to be quiet. This is where you need to wait till you have a few scouts. The enemy... even walling up a little bit, Dave. I think maybe even just the Civ has made Admiral feel like there could be a transport, and he's even checking the other side. But that's not where Werewolf is right now, Dave. And now we see walls at home for Werewolf. It's like both players are paranoid.
Imagine if you could hear enemies building through the fog of war with a villager in this game. You're just here, ding, ding, ding. You're like, what is that?
Okay, Dave. I think he's sensed it right now. I think he sensed it. He now spots it. And he was already on his way to making a barracks. He was super paranoid. There's something he saw or didn't see that made him think it might be a landing. And now he knows the enemy is here. So it's good reaction. It might have been the scout that got in too close, which forced that reaction. And now a spearman should come out. But if Werewolf is thinking about this, Werewolf could just go for an archer range. And an archer range follow up into a few skirmishers. Or archers would take out any spearman.
Well, he's going to drop a tower at the back of that wood line there. That's it. I mean, it's a decent tower for denying that wood line, but it doesn't really give you a launching point into anything else. And Red can just move to another wood line. He's going to pick a villager, though.
Yeah, pick a villager, but also the scouts are rather weak that just did that. And we've got a gate attempt here, which kind of works out for Admiral, but he's really under stress right now, Dave. More scouts are coming in. The counter tower is good. Might even end up denying that, but what's not good is that the enemy villagers are there, and even the enemy villagers are faster with Berbers, so good luck catching them.
Yeah, and one fire ship, another fire ship on the way for Werewolf. Just gonna keep him garrisoned in his docks. Pretty good control here for Red.
One of the villagers did die, and the other one is going to make an archery range. Now, just like before, that villager could automatically go back to finish the next building after building the first one. And that happened in game 1, and then additional villagers went down. Scouts just ran right underneath the TC there.
Yeah, and they got doinked by the spearmen, and I think they're going to get doinked here again, potentially. As Admiral goes out to stone, he's anticipating Maybe even another landing on the other side of his base because he's
Yeah.
walled that up as well. He thinks blue might be able to double down here, so he's going to stone to be able to defend himself.
Yeah, a few towers would be good. Now, typically what you do is you even see Admiral looping around to get the transport ship, but that transport ship's out of here. Woo! As I have to say, Warwolf's micro has been really good to avoid all these spearmen. The reaction from Warwolf to go back on the water was sick, and Admiral seemed to have realized that, Dave, and even defense from that too. These players are so good.
Yeah, I think, though, if you go for a landing, you have to make a few fire ships. Like,
Yeah.
you have to. You have to force your opponent to invest or lose his fish.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was a spot where many players might have gone for a Vil pick, but I think Warwolf realizes if he's able to break in, that's the most important thing. And has to micro the scouts around and try and get the spearmen out of the picture. But there's 3 of them there, Dave. It's not easy. And the scout over here is sniping that villager from Admiral. And so far, it's 4-2 with the eco kills. Economically, it seems like there's more in the bank for Admiral, which you would expect from someone who still has fishing ships on islands.
Yeah, transport ship, unfortunately, got stuck in the corner of the map. Speed will not help you in the corner.
There's just so much to look at right now, right? That's probably what it comes down to, as you now see a tower from Admiral. Admiral, this game 1 and game 2 was very macro-oriented and just comfortable to sit at home, Dave. And I'm not seeing anything different here. It seems like Admiral's a meta defensive player, just playing towards eco every game, whereas Warwolf is a bit more of on the aggressive side.
Yeah, and I think Werewolf's trying to snipe the fish from Admiral, but Admiral saves another fishing ship.
Yeah.
So he's going to loop that around, and Werewolf has to be feeling like, okay, I killed, what, 2 villagers? And that's it. And he's had full fishing economy the entire time, and now he can counter any of my landings with these towers or with the spearmen.
Well, what's complicated about this, and this is why I think the meta really is going to shift overall. Like, if it doesn't make a heavy shift towards landings in the rest of Hidden Cup 4, I think it might after. Look at the eco for Warwolf at home, as well as the legend is amazing. Again, but he's taking his berries, he's got farms. Yes, Admiral has fishing ships, but he doesn't have farms, and he's just going to berries, Dave. So, if you still have a forward villager on the enemy island, and you get to Castle Age faster, that can be devastating.
Yeah, get some siege onto the field and really, really start to pressure Admiral. I think they're going to have similar uptimes here, which is a testament to the economy of Warwolf, like you said.
Yeah, and also, what'd you see, Dave?
Okay, so let me describe the situation. 5 fishing ships, all gathered together. 1 fish. Demo from blue coming in. And it only kills 1 fishing ship.
Oh, okay. I missed it. I was going to say, are you ahead of me or something? I missed it. Okay.
No, I was describing what I saw.
I see. That's why you sighed like that.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, you know, you see these fishing ships having to sail away here. The fact that you have faster fires is really helpful to catch up to these fishing ships. And at least, you know, the fire ship is weakening or killing some of the weak ones there, Dave. And I'm with you. I think the uptimes will be similar, and I'm wondering if Admiral will be able to do anything to kill that 1 pesky villager.
What do you go for in his position here? Your Italians, he's going for a stable, and I think you need a siege workshop, right?
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I mean, it depends on if you think you're on the way to Castle Age first, because the enemy's going to go for knights. So a lot of times you see your own knights, and you see a monastery to convert any incoming knights. I almost feel like in Warwolf's position, granted, you're going to want to pressure on land, but that's what is expected of you. So maybe add a second dock and try and continue to contest on water.
Yeah, did add a stable there, Admiral. And the possibility with that stable, if you clear up the landing, or if at any point you feel like you're, you know, pretty secure at home, you can hop into transport ships and send them over to Warwolf's Island.
Did Warwolf forget there was a tower here?
I think he forgot about his army, too.
Yeah, like, he went over there in the first place, which was kind of weird. And then just sat there, so probably a mix of both, Dave. I think he was stonewalling in his villager so we can keep things competitive on water, but those are the moments that can swing games. The level is very high here. Those mistakes, normally not something you'd expect. Tower? That's weird to me. That's weird. Maybe just to hold the position, but another tower feels so awkward from Warwolf.
Yeah, what is that for? even if you wanted to like secure that stone for later in the game, one tower is so easy to take out, right?
Also, it's in range of the enemy tower. The enemy tower is shooting
Yeah.
it. So all that Admiral has to do is garrison. So that is a little weird, but I guess you could just hop your archers inside the tower, repair it, and shoot back. And on water here, this is about to get really interesting. As again, Admiral has done a really, really good job and actually has the stone soon to build a castle, Dave.
Now, do you build? I think with Admiral's play, you build that at home, but there's a potential. You have control of the water, right? Like if it was me, I'd hop in a transport ship and build that on my enemy's island. Like, come on.
Yeah, you are a man of the people. Admiral probably does not want to take any risks here. I would say if the roles were reversed and Admiral landed Warwolf, though, Warwolf would 100% drop the castle on the enemy island. That's that type of player.
Yeah. Second dock, though, for Warwolf, and I don't think that Red sees that. So the fire ships are going to be a bit of a surprise in his fishing eco. But by this point, the fishing eco, I mean, the ships have to travel so long for that fish, so it's not even that efficient anymore.
Yep. Here you see the knight attacking the wall. I think that maybe Warwolf should have taken out that palisade. And Dave, there is a transport there in the middle for Admiral, which is kind of weird because Blue just passed it, and he's just going for fishing ships right now.
And monk defense for Admiral here. Also switching into a couple galleys, which will be nice for map control.
Okay. Still can't take that stone long term, but at least he can take both of his golds, Dave. And adding a second TC, has the food income to create bills. Are we actually going to see a castle? And there's a big demo shot.
Tristan, we were laughing at that tower from Blue, but look at the chaos it's caused in Admiral's woodline.
It's true, actually. Okay. And
Worth already.
There's Project Belgium, pro player, played in the qualifier, says, I think Warwolf could be Jordan, not sure about Admiral Yi. Well, that's very different from what most of the non-pro players in chat are saying. Project Belgium, get your act together. They know more than you. I'm also very confused by this set. I've been so confused by so many. As you see a dock on the back now for Warwolf.
I think the transport might be for a relic heist.
Oh, that would make sense.
He's got one knight over there too, so maybe he wants to toss that over, use that knight to harass and or explore for relics, and then send the monk over later.
All right,
Castle though, castle at home for Admiral.
Barracks wasn't really needed, I guess, anyways, Dave. And this is going to free up that wood line. The villager's going to have to run away, and I feel like the landing, it hasn't been bad, but it just has not done enough to break Admiral.
Monk
and
converting the knight, and he gets it on Warwolf's home island.
Whoa, okay, so there's that, and that was a great reaction from Warwolf. At the same time, making a transport on the other side, Dave. These guys are so good. And now he's going to send knights over. There's probably monks and spearmen that can deal with this. Actually, I think Admiral spotted that somehow. And Admiral may be prepping some defensive house walls to keep the knights out. How do they focus on everything at once, Dave?
Yeah, that's crazy recognition from him. Immediately knows that the knights are going to loop around that way. The knights are going to try and find their way in. Unfortunately for Warwolf, there's not going to be an opening.
The transport's still there, but that one will probably be forgotten and go down. I like the fishing on the backside for Admiral, too. He's got a lot of fishing ships working for him. 59 eco versus 54, and that transport is out of here.
We got ourselves a really good set here.
I know.
I'm enjoying this quite a lot.
Yeah, the way, like, after watching both best of fives yesterday, I kind of went into this thinking that Admiral was going to stomp. And especially in game 2, I'm like, uh-oh. But Warwolf is a really talented player, and they have completely different styles.
That transport ship is booking it.
What's up with...
is booking it.
Okay, what's up with all the moonwalking in Hidden Cup 4? I don't know if it's the patch or what, but there's been so many moonwalking or moon sailing units in Hidden Cup 4.
It has 1 HP, and it just completely outpaced the ship from Admiral. That's burger ships, man. Not something you think about all the time, but it's a crazy bonus.
Yeah, and Dave, check out the middle area now. You've got 4 fires, and everything there from Admiral's pretty weak. Admiral's got to be careful. He's constantly worried about land, but he's got to focus on water too. That is the main focus of this map after all. And I'm not sure if that War Galley switch was really at the proper time for Admiral.
Yeah, it seemed a bit early, but still hasn't lost water yet. I mean, he lost some of his fishing economy, but he still has relative control over that. I wonder where Warwolf goes from here. Like, do you transition into more water control? Are you thinking about going up to Imp? Are you thinking about expanding your landing? Like, what's the plan?
I think Imp is the right plan here. To really use some demos possibly in the middle. Nice job from Admiral to try and use this Monk, even convert ships. There are some demos on the backside, or there were some demos on the backside, and Warwolf's still being stubborn back there, Dave. I'd like to see him get fires down to the backside where the fishing ships are for Admiral, but yeah, it's just tough to compete here, I guess, because Italians have all the bonuses. It's cheaper for them to go up to Imp. When they get there, the dog techs are also much cheaper, so this feels better to be in Admiral's position as another demo lands, but Admiral's still microing and will defend.
Enough stone for another castle here for Admiral too, and it just disappeared. So he's got another one going down on his island there.
Yep. Okay. See that, and in terms of total military, it's pretty close, but it does favor the Admiral. But the food eco is way higher for Warwolf. Look at that food economy compared to Admiral. Admiral's food eco, he hasn't really been able to expand much because of the landing, and it could lead to him being much later to the Imperial Age.
Yeah, there's always that period right after you lose your fish, or you've exhausted all the fish on the map, where you have to shift into farms, and that's where the player who lost water early is going to kind of get a boost in that transition period.
Hey, Dave, and I could see a castle for Warwolf soon on the shoreline, and then that Imp click. It's just, is Admiral going to be tempted to use the market and sense that buy some food, sell some wood, maybe? Because if you make it competitive with the uptimes, Italians should be favored there. And I don't want to say I called it, but I called it there as he uses the market, and he realizes he needs to click up to Imp. He knows where this game is going.
They're going to be up at, like, the same time. That's insane.
Yep. Very close here. Italians. And you sell a bit more wood here. You should click up. Yep, and you're right, Dave. Now we'll see some market abuse from Warwolf, I'm sure. Does he have a market? He's making a... Now he's making a market. Honestly, not having a market could be huge, Dave. He should be on the way up right now. Just didn't have a market to sell off some of that food and wood to click up.
Yeah, and Admiral is going to be up to the next stage first. He's building extra docks. They're going to have quite a big naval battle here in the middle. Luckily for Admiral, he does have that castle that he can always fall back to.
Yep. Yeah, there's some weak ones in here, though, for Admiral. I think that's probably why Warwolf wanted to get an engagement in. Even sniped the monk there. Look at that one there. That is on 1 HP, and it stays alive. It does feel like having Italians, it being the home map. Is that the same transport? Not again.
No. The other one's in the corner. It's 1 HP. It's just chilling.
Okay, so as he makes another transport ship, which is pretty telling. I don't know why he did that, but we'll see. Immediate outpost from Admiral, but I'm just wondering if maybe Warwolf has to do something different here, Dave.
Yeah, it's kind of questionable what can he do, right? He's going to try and load up all those villagers onto that transport ship and head over to Admiral's Island, but Admiral with fantastic scouting with all those outposts and his castle positions and whatnot, so Warwolf is really going to struggle to find somewhere he can actually make that castle. He's got enough stone for 2.
Yeah, the last couple moments just have not been very confident for Warwolf, and I think Admiral spotted that too, Dave. He's looking for it.
Yeah, this transport ship's so fast, though. Watch.
Yeah, but there's another fire. Run away.
Deja vu.
Run away. Oh, no.
Okay. Couldn't quite deja vu his way out of that one, but it was a good attempt.
I'm a little disappointed in Warwolf trickling in those fire ships over the last couple moments, you know? He could have landed some demos at least if you're going to throw away units. Is making a lot of them. I don't even know if Berbers get heavy demo. I think they do. And I see that villager, that starting villager is still alive on the enemy island and made another stable, Dave. So it almost looks like a light cav raid is on the cards for Warwolf.
It's unfortunate that the Italian player has 2 castles up, though.
Yeah.
If you're talking about light cav raids, because he's already going to tech into the archer upgrades because he has the ships.
Yep.
And he's going to have Genoese crossbowmen there.
It is rather interesting to me. Oh, I guess fast fire is completed. Never mind. I was going to say that he skipped that upgrade. Early imp, fast fire is incredibly strong. Yeah, there's a
And
lot
now
of fires out there for Warwolf. He's going to get the same upgrades, Dave.
I think Red's going to drop a castle in the middle here. As soon as he has the stone.
Oh my god. Don't tell me. You're... Oh my goodness, those demos could have killed those ships. And they were... I guess he put them on no attack stance because sometimes demos don't behave. And they just got hit from range there. That hurts.
Yeah, you usually put them on stand ground so they don't run into a dock.
Yeah.
Randomly, right?
Things happen so fast here, Dave. It's 135 population for Warwolf. It is 130 population for Admiral, but Admiral's position seems to be stronger. Because he's going to yoink that relic from the middle there, and that'll be 3 relics to 2. Plus the castle position means some extra gold control for later on in the game.
And that villager, the forward villager, did die. So blue no longer has a villager on Red's Island, and now the stables are being trebbed down as well.
Yes, and Lightcap probably short-lived here. Man, is that castle position strong. That is so good. If he could get a castle up on the other island, too, it's going to be extremely tough for Warwolf to break the Admiral.
Yeah, I love how that's far enough back. I mean, he was kind of forced into it because of the resource placement, but it's far enough back you can't range it from your own island with a trebuchet.
Well, wait a second. I think you can from where that treb is right now. I was with you, but I think...
He can get that?
Must be Tatar's, man. We must be getting it wrong here.
Wow, man. I didn't think there was enough range there, but apparently maximum range there for that trebuchet. He is the Warwolf.
That's true. Duh. Duh. What are we thinking? You know, Dave, in the first round, I don't know if you saw it, but Warwolf was losing a treb war. So I thought that was pretty comical. And this trebuchet will not cooperate because of the pathing there, and that's a huge moment. You need to have that treb over here if you're Warwolf. And don't tell me it's not going to path through there, is it? Oh no, Warwolf, pay attention to it. Oh, it's rolling the whole way around. Oh, that hurts. But the castle goes down anyways.
And Red's got to be surprised by that, because initially when I saw that castle, it felt like that was never going to go down, right?
I know, yep.
But now it barely stayed up for 5 minutes.
At least he got the relic, though. At least he got the relic, because the relic on the other island, that gives him a 3-2 lead in terms of long-term gold income. And plus, it's not like Blue's going to take any of this gold, so taking as much as possible is a pretty big deal. I'd just drop off the gold if I were Red, but Red's got more on the water right now, Dave. It's actually that Blue just has more land eco. He's got 66 on wood right now.
Remember, if Red ever clears up this navy from Blue, Blue's land eco is going to be really struggling. The galleons are going to be able to range a bunch of those wood lines, a bunch of the farms and whatnot. So even though he has a great land eco, Blue really needs to focus on water pressure here. And I don't think the way Red's base is set up, I don't think there's really any possibility for Blue landing.
Is Admiral missing careening? I think he's missing careening, Dave. Which is an upgrade. Oh, never mind. Here comes careening. All right, well, he's going to have full upgrades then, and chemistry came in a bit faster for Admiral, and his numbers seem much, much higher. So he brings his own trebs forward, Dave. Looking very good for him.
I'd love to see him loop just a couple ships around to the back and place them around Warwolf's Island.
Yeah. Dude, Warwolf's not going to have wood much longer. I mean, we'll see. I like how Warwolf is using his trebs here, but I don't think trebs against ships is the way to play this, and I would back away with these trebs right now if I were Warwolf. Oof, those are some big losses. Right, trebs now in the middle for Admiral. But the Navy numbers, Dave, it's just the galleons. There's 42 galleons for Admiral. There's only 16 for Warwolf. Does not feel like he's able to get the numbers up.
It's a really tough position for him currently too, because the way his docks are set up, they all have to feed into that little choke point.
Yeah.
And Red's got plenty of space to maneuver.
I think he realizes he's losing water, Dave, so he sent villagers in. I mean, there's not really space for the villagers to do anything, but props to him for trying, and I think Admiral noticed this. Woo! Run! Run where? I don't know.
Oh, one's going to go down to the TC. There's a second one, third one, but one is still alive. Oh, never mind. It's being converted.
Yeah, all right. Well, you're on the enemy. I mean, I would prefer to be on Admiral's side at this point. He can see the way that life is going, so for the villager, it's actually not too bad. Normally, villagers would probably complain about that. But it looks like Warwolf Civilization is about to get defeated. So yeah, just switch sides. That's smart. And fast fire ships. There's a lot in there.
Fast fire ships really, really good when they get in close. Unfortunately, not so good in a choke point because they'll bump up against each other. And galleons are able to, you know, with that mass, probably two-shot these fast fire ships. He is taking out the Trebs, though.
Yeah, taking out the Trebs. And I like how Admiral is just sending more and more villagers to the middle. It would be rather funny if one of the villagers he just sent to the middle was the converted villager. Make him mine the dangerous gold, you know? But I'm with you, Dave. The numbers still seem extremely high. The problem with fires, really, is that it's kind of a one-and-done unit. Not quite like a demo, because you can micro them back. But galleons, and you can see it with the KD, they really get value long-term.
Yeah, galleons have so many other uses as well. Like, they can shut down the land economy. I'm still surprised that Warwolf hasn't looped some galleons around to try and control the shoreline of... Or, sorry, Admiral hasn't looped some around to try and control the shoreline.
I think it's a matter of you might not need to at this stage, right? You've got the lead. Prioritization is in the middle area so you can protect the gold. I think we'll even start to see players thinking about the long-term just in case. And when you feel comfortable on islands, you even buy a little bit of wood. But, I mean, the stone... not enough there to keep that castle up for Warwolf, and that means the docks are going to start going down, Dave. And it does look like, increasingly, that Admiral is showing what he's capable of on his home map, and he might get this game 3 victory.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time, it feels like. If Admiral gets some more Trebs on that middle island as well, like he already had a fantastic position in the south there, able to take out that castle. If you get some Trebs on the middle island, maybe that other island with the remnants of your archer ranges, have a pretty good position as well. But Warwolf is not giving up, and he's redocking in the north now, so he's just going to completely shift.
Yeah, maybe here Admiral's the fact that he's not taking advantage of other areas, like looping around to the backwood line or transporting himself, you know, maybe that's giving Warwolf some confidence that he can maybe just hold on and keep attempting this, right? But I'm looking at that KD right now, and I'm also looking at the value. And guys, at the bottom left of your screen shows the value of the army comps on the field, and then the percentage there is the gold percentage. And that just goes to show you how expensive this mass is, and how on earth is Warwolf going to be able to even match that with only 12 on gold and 5 in the bank.
Literally 5 gold.
Yeah. As he's using the other docks, Dave, he's trying to send in ships, and he's passing through. And we might end up seeing that GG call here shortly, because the villagers
he's got
in the middle...
more villagers on Red's Island somehow.
What? Where? This guy's hilarious. This guy is hilarious. I don't want Warwolf to lose. He's such a fun player. He's so persistent, man. Well, I would think that even if the stable goes up, it won't contribute too much. And his tower gets denied in the middle. And his castle will go down, one of many, I think, as these Trebs could just be transported around. Dave, how smart was it, though, for Admiral to transport the Trebs, instead of trying to build more castles and perhaps taking some extra risk?
Yeah, well, he saw that first castle go down, and he's just like, yeah, whatever. We'll take this position with Navy and with Trebs, and it's smart of him to transport like 3 at a time.
Yeah.
So he can just clear up the docks and the castles right away, rather than, you know, trickle Trebbing over one at a time.
This is where vills start to go idle, right? You're going to see lumberjacks run out of wood to chop pretty soon. Over at Admiral's side, you know, that definitely does seem to be the case as well, but you could always buy the wood, and he's banking res like crazy right now. I also think he got shipwright, which I'm not sure Warwolf got. I'm not even sure Berbers, not Beavers, sorry. Not sure if the Beavers out there have that available to them, but shipwright does make the ships cost a bit less, which helps long term.
Yeah, only one real wood line left for Warwolf now. I mean, he's got some little peanuts of wood at the bottom, but it's basically that area at the north, and now Red is shifting over there with galleons, and that wood line is completely saturated.
Yeah. This is not only GG, but it's been GG for a while, but Warwolf realizes I have to try, and I can't really knock him, especially with the prize pool being so large. So many people rooting for their favorite players, even though they don't know who their favorite players are. You can go into each set thinking your favorite player's playing. This is probably the final effort here, Dave. And when the fire ships go down and the castle goes up, then for Admiral, I think we'll see the GG called. What a great defensive game from Admiral yet again in this series.
Yep, saw the landing, reacted to it perfectly, got the castles in the right positions, and then just kept up the Navy production. And Warwolf just felt like once he lost the position on Red's Island, could never get himself back into the game.
Yeah, he was a little wasteful with his Navy, because I felt like for a while there, Warwolf, he had done enough to delay Admiral. Admiral also did a good job to keep fishing ships alive and stay competitive, right? It was a very close game. But I think what decided it was simply Admiral prioritized water at the perfect time, again, and Warwolf just wasn't able to get back onto it. And also the imp time. Do you remember I mentioned the market and the click up?
Yep.
Admiral clicked up to Imperial Age faster, despite not having many resources and not having as much economy. So I think Imperial Age alone could have made a big difference there. You can actually see that, I mean, there is a difference with the gold, but more wood collected, more food collected. And around this stage, even you could argue that the economy was stronger for Warwolf. But I think that tells me that, you know, after watching game 2 and Warwolf getting his win on Cross, that this is going to be a competitive best of 5 because players are very comfortable on whatever maps they pick for their home.
Well, it's already 2-1, so I'd already classify it as a competitive best of 5 at this point. I think you're right, though, about that market. If he did have the market up, he's probably up to Imperial a minute before Admiral is. And if he gets that fast fire ship tech in, that swing right away, we could be looking at a completely different game. He could theoretically be the one landing in the middle with the castle. Remember how much stone he had when he was going up to the Imperial Age? Enough for 2 castles.
It's just crazy how a couple seconds here or there, a market, you know, things like that can decide a game. And it's also crazy to have all of you guys at home watching right now. Thank you for showing up today. This quarterfinal day has definitely started off with a bang. Special shout out to Lawler the Legend, who has gifted so many subs over the last month. This, of course, means that people have emotes like the pants emote, which people are very excited about, that might not otherwise have it. And then also, of course, contribute to the channel, which is huge. And then to that overall prize pool too. And not forgotten is Rod as well. Rod also gifted 50 subs. I think we're in a unique situation when someone gives 50 and it's lower and possibly not mentioned first. So thank you, Rod, and thank you to everyone doing their part to support the show today. But Dave, I'm so ready for this. Before we hop in for Bay, what are you thinking for civs?
Well, you got to go, if you're thinking about Admiral, you're thinking Mongols, right? And then Persians for Warwolf, or maybe Japanese?
So Bypass is kind of similar to Hideout. So if it gets there, I could see Khmer being the pick for Warwolf because that's been common. But at the same time, Bypass has a lot of Hunt. So in some world, I could actually see Mongols being saved for Bypass. But I'm with you. I think that Mongols might be the pick, and then we'll see Japanese or Persians for Warwolf, and we'll find out now. Game number 4. All right. So as I'm loading in here, Capture Age is going to connect for us. By the way, if you want to check out all the features we have, I haven't been doing too many flashbacks today just for the sake of time because I knew today could be long. Here we are 30 seconds in, but make sure you check out Capture Age below the stream. There's a free version of Capture Age, which is freaking awesome. And then also this bonus version, this pro version that I've been using. One more thing to bring up, because I neglected to do so the previous 2 days, is if you're watching the stream right now, you could actually try and enter my giveaway, which is below the stream. You can enter just by following, and I'm going to be giving away a brand new iPad and sending it out to you if you, of course, win. But anyways, Dave, Mongols, it's cool to see this map and cool to see the Civ, and already Admiral making use of bonuses, stealing some sheep.
And yeah, stealing some sheep, and I have to think he's looking for a boar here too, right? If he's going this fast.
You're kidding me.
I haven't seen a boar lame on this map, I don't think.
I haven't either, but how can you argue with it 2 minutes in? And that
NBL
boar,
confirmed?
I mean, you can't say it's not NBL.
Picking Islands is his home map. This is turning a new leaf.
NBL's an improved player, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, dude,
He's going to find another sheep, too. He's going to find another one. That's 3 sheep and a boar. Oh, my. This is an awful start for Warwolf.
Listen, laming is such an interesting topic, right? We've moved those boars further to the back. There's always one that's kind of around where that boar was there. But I can't help but feel like when you're up against Mongols, you're down 2-1. You have to know the potential and not scout the back of your base, man. Look at the scouting from Warwolf. He scouted the edge of the map. That is really weird to me, how he wouldn't prioritize having a scout in the front. And if Admiral is able to get this boar back, big lead. Of course, hunting that food a bit faster, which is huge, but also having all the hunt available. This is going to be... I don't even know what Warwolf can do here, honestly.
Like, if you're in his position, do you just go for a big risk here? Like, do you even go out for the water here? Do you use your Japanese bonuses and go take the deer with a mill or something? Like, you're never going to be up as fast as the Mongol player, so it's going to be hard to contest on water. You're going to be up slower than usual because you're missing 3 sheep and a boar. Like, I feel like you have to switch up your game somehow.
Yeah, and I mean, fishing ship's strong for Japanese, so you still dock, Dave. But I'm not even convinced that he realized his boar was stolen. I mean, maybe now
it was right. It was right by the berries. I think he knows. And the sheep got taken away too.
What if it was in that one tile that wasn't scouted? Like, what are the odds? If we go back, what if the boar was sitting right there, and that's why he was scouting the side of the map to see where his other boar was? I mean, I don't know. I actually am going to look back at that after this game, but Dave, I would say definitely take advantage of milling the deer. You're going to be behind now, but this is when, in a draft scenario, this is why you see Mongols picked. Admiral wise to take advantage of any bonuses.
I feel like I know the importance of docking. I know how hard Japanese fishing ships are to kill, but like, you're going to be so far behind a Mongol player to the next stage.
It is the unfortunate reality of Warwolf's position. And you've just got to... I think playing passive with walls is good, and taking some risks going out to deer and whatnot is good. If he wasn't Japanese, it'd be even worse, right? And wait a second. Oh, you're kidding me. He's scouting the front. The boars will never be there. If he would have continued to go along this backside, Dave, he could have honestly stolen one boar right back. Which, I mean, might not have even happened. It might have taken some time, but to make matters worse...
Look at the food count for blue, and then look at red going up to the feudal age.
This is also a really sick build, considering the lane.
Yeah.
You know, like, you still have a boar there for later on. It's like leftovers in the fridge, but that is ridiculous. And now Admiral... I mean, maybe in some ways you even change up your game plan if you're Admiral. You're going to go water, and you're probably going to clear up water with just one dock fires. So, do you go scouts here, maybe, to clear out the villagers on deer that you've just scouted?
Well... my man's got a third boar in reserve. He still hasn't even taken that, dude. And Blue's blocking the lumber camp with his scout.
Oh, man. I can't help but get the feeling here that this Admiral player has shown preparation in almost every game we've seen, Dave. Game 2 was, I think, in many ways, a throw. Was ahead in that game, right? But Arabia, the forward came in, defended nicely. Islands... the transport came in multiple times, defended nicely and won water. Here, you draft Mongols, find your stuff, you go forward right away. And Warwolf, maybe sheep scouting on the front, a mistake against Mongols, easy to say now. And it's just been, as Duck said, caught with his pants down here on pants. So now the scout's even going to go down.
Yeah, he knows what's up, though. Full walls, not even, like, only 2 on farms, Tristan. 3 fishing ships. We got some on berries and then some on the deer. He's just going for castle age at the moment. Like, I don't think he's planning on contesting water at all.
That was interesting. So the villager came forward, and I don't think Admiral ever thought that he would lose that fight. So now he's got to be thinking, like, wait a second, how did my scout die there?
Mm-hmm.
And if it'd be pretty cheeky for Warwolf to come around here with the villager and just shoot all the deer. You know, make sure that Admiral can't take more hunt, and then... yeah, like you said, full wall and fast castle. I mean, at least the 3 fishing ships that brought in a lot of food.
That spearman is on the hunt for that villager, though.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Admiral, you have to... well, I guess it doesn't matter too much. The deer is still huntable.
He's still got a boar at home. What, like... why are we getting takeout food when we got pizza in the fridge?
Sometimes you're just not hungry for boar, man. Sometimes you just are hungry for deer. That's just how it goes. All right.
I think he's forgotten about that board completely. Or it's like the ultimate flex. Like I can do this without, a board. I just stole yours because I could.
Speaking of a flex, quick wall there from Warwolf.
Nice quick wall.
I want to see Warwolf try and wall the Spearman in here. Oh, it's going to happen.
What he's planning. He's planning it.
And it's being blocked. It's being blocked. Oh, okay. Okay. Saves the villager. We've got a nerd on our hands here. A nerd without a board home. Okay. Does that, Archer. Well, he did accomplish a little bit, Dave, but it wasn't as much as he would have wanted there, and it's a good decision from Admiral to have that range out already.
This, you know what this reminds me of, this game, Tristan? All of the Hidden Cup 3 finals, every single game in that series. Remember, lames early and then just domination from that point onwards.
Look at this now. The spear's even gone forward to take out the enemy deer. He's like, I have your boar. I have one in my fridge for later. I have my deer, and I'm still not going to let you eat any food. This is cutthroat, Dave.
Yeah, this is no mercy play for sure. And I'm looking at the resources from Blue. He's going to be up to the next stage soon. But the resources from Red are not looking too bad either with those extra fish. He actually did take that boar, so he got that food income in there, and he's building up his gold stockpile, so he should be on the way to Castle Age soon. And I think he's already done enough damage to Blue's economy at this point.
You know what's interesting to me? Is the way Admiral is walling seems suspiciously similar to Leloy in his set versus John the Fearless yesterday. And again, I could be crazy, but there was heavy speculation that Leloy yesterday was possibly Tato. And many people have also been thinking that maybe Admiral is someone like Viper, Doubt, Jordan. So maybe the Admiral is a teammate of Leloy, and maybe the people are onto something, Dave.
You're getting that because of the way he's walling.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like,
okay,
a lot of players would wall. You see where that house is. A lot of players would wall there, but they're actually going for full walls. I might be crazy, but this came to mind. That's all. I appreciate
I'm skeptical, but
I appreciate the skepticism, though.
yeah. I'm willing to hear you out.
Well, on the bright side for Warwolf is on the way to Castle Age, Dave. Now, problem is, this was Blacksmith Market Fast Castle. This is like Fast Castle into dropping a TC with no map control, which is very, very poor. And I imagine it's going to be a TC on the... Actually, he has to leave the gold, so that makes it even worse. But I was thinking he'd just TC one of his golds or wood lines and just try and boom it out here.
And the problem is, like, you're going for Fast Castle, but you're Japanese, right? So he's going to try and retake the water here. That's his first initial play. He's getting the War Galley upgrade, so that'll upgrade his fire ships. And I think Red won't be able to contest that. But like I said before, the problem is you're Japanese in this position. What are your ultimate, like, super strong options if you're going to go for a wall and boom sort of strategy? Mongols can go into Mangadai. What are Japanese going to do? They're going to go into what? Arbalists? Skirmishers? Like...
Well, it is a start to go down to water. To take out those fishing ships and maybe add your own is the start. Then if you get a second town center a bit faster, maybe you get an eco lead, maybe go elite skirm opening or something. But I would agree, you'd probably want to go crossbow with elite skirm. But elite skirm against Mongols is just disastrous in a lot of ways, I'd say, because it's a lot of food eco you don't have right now. Mongols are probably going to have a stable out to make a knight or two. They can always go Hussar. They can always go Siege. It's not a winning strategy, David. We see 3 town centers for Admiral, who only has 3 on food right now.
Yeah, he was kind of banking on those fishing ships, also banking on all that hunt that he took on earlier. So 3 TC, and he's sending a 4th one to berries, Tristan. Is that enough to produce from 3 TCs?
Does he have a market? He doesn't have a market. He's adding cav archers. Not really, Dave, but he's going to sort it out, I'm sure. I can't help but feel like that was really sloppy from Warwolf, though. You just saw the archers were here. Now you know the enemy's in Castle Age. Why would you send villagers back out to that gold? But I'm not going to say that it's an easy position to play in, and sometimes when you start to lose the game mentally if you fall behind, and there's the Siege Workshop in defense now.
Yeah, it's going to be all defense here from blue. And Cav Archer's on the way from the Mongol player. Interesting.
Don't hate it. I think that there's a few players in our game who hate the Cav Archers, but there's a lot who recognize the importance of mobility and massing, being patient with them. You have a big lead. I think this puts more pressure on Warwolf. You also have the potential to maybe even run back here if you're super greedy with it, but I would say just don't worry about that too much after you see the Scorpion, and maybe just get out of here and break in another way. And good micro from Admiral as Admiral runs away.
I think you can justify running back there. If you have the crossbows to control that main front gold area,
yeah,
keep one Cav Archer over on the right-hand side to make sure he doesn't move out. Just like patrolling back and forth there, and then try and run him with 4 or 5 and harass your enemy.
All right, there's a scout out there for Admiral who will just try and scout the other areas of the map. No doubt that the score lead has to do with all the military the Admiral has, but also the fact that there's a scout out there scouting resources. There's even a spearman scouting right now, but, you know, a slow transition into farms now for Admiral. Not too bad, even a monastery at home to send some monks out there to get some relics. And unfortunately, when you lose 3 sheep and a boar, which is very rare, this is the spot you find yourself in, Dave. Warwolf has just got to play defense, 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 and hope for a good connect with the Scorpions.
Yeah, it's going to be fairly... Oh, what? There was still a sheep in the back for him, too. Wait a second.
What?
Was it in the north corner of the map?
It's his,
so he wasn't
though.
down... Yeah, I know. He was... so flustered, man. He wasn't down 3 sheep. He was down 4 sheep.
Did he blame the sheep for what happened to him in this game? And he just said, you know what? You're not even worth eating. I don't...
Yeah.
It's a self-blame.
It was bad.
Bad. Sorry. I'm sorry, don't leave. We have a long day. I need you here, Dave. Scorpions, though, getting good connects here. And the splits from Admiral. All right. Confident splits. I like it. And the sheep goes down. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
So appropriate.
Oh, geez. And also with that good micro, it looks like the Cav Archers will stay back here anyways. Oh, my word, dude. There's just too much for Warwolf to do right now. That's the thing. It looks like he might be a bit on the back foot, and he might be reacting a bit slow, but just so much going on. And it is 55 ecos versus 51. And a big point you brought up earlier is, do you want to be behind Mongols at this stage? And that answer is always going to be no.
And Red's more than happy to just run around here. He doesn't even need to do damage. Just distract your enemy.
Yeah.
As long as your enemy is at home and you're booming up behind, you can make your way into Mangadite. Like, that's your win condition.
Dave, can we look at all the red dots on that mini-map for a second? Let's, before we do, Monk.
Crazy, dude. Spearman, Scout.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, look, Spearman on the gold. Spearman on the gold. Scout on the gold. Villagers coming over, no doubt, for Outpost, but, like, the control from Admiral, the vision, is very impressive.
Admiral has a Cav Archer on a patrol, just back and forth there, distracting those Scorpions. Okay, it finally gets killed.
He's re-patrolled it, I think. Because he doesn't want to pay attention to it, but he wants the Scorpions. Oh my God, that's so smart. No attack stance patrol, and it just keeps the Scorpions back here. Oh my God, I'm tilted for Warwolf right now.
Yep.
And the monk can't even get a conversion because it's not close enough.
Yep.
Now
this
it's
the
okay.
That was the stoppable force versus the movable object right there, Tristan.
My goodness, dude. And there's going to be a castle, isn't there? And and it's a forward one. A little risky with 2 vills, I have to say. We know a certain player who is great with map control, who might do something like this, and it's not like Red is that far ahead in eco. He's ahead by 10, so if he loses 8 villagers and can't get a castle up with Mongols, that could be problematic. And Dave, is this doubt?
No, I think he's got a knight coming.
But it'll get converted.
As long as he takes care of that monk with the archer and the Cav Archer. Ooh, potential.
Oh my goodness, have we spotted the Lord?
That's so risky, man.
No, I don't think, like, I'm thinking of names on the, let's say it's GL. Don't think Tato would place that castle. I don't think Jordan would place that castle. I don't think Viper would place that castle. I think the Doubt would place that castle. Oh, man, dude. It's so unnecessary.
Yeah.
So unnecessary. I mean, it'd be great if he gets it up, but now it's 70 villagers for 78. And Dave, look at the total population. There's not a lot in it.
The problem, forward castles are such a double-edged sword, right? It kicks your opponent out of the game, or it brings them back in, depending on the outcome. And this one has kind of brought blue back into the game. That is a production building, not only a castle position, but a production building that Admiral needs.
Yeah. Okay, there's still another monk here to convert the knights. Good addition to bring the knights in here. It's not like the castle is definitely denied forever, as you see Mangonel coming out, but good micro there, and 1-for-1 means that this castle will continue to be denied, and that foundation is being walled in. And Dave, I'm going to actually quote Doubt. When I was casting with him, he said, I don't build castles to secure the map. I build castles to finish the game one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what you described. So, I'm a little speechless right now, to be completely honest with you.
I mean, red is still ahead in this game.
Yeah.
By a good margin. A lot of the score from blue is coming from his water control. The fish just expired, so he's going to have to drop fish traps with that. He's only got scorpions, mangonels, monks, like not something you can transition into the late game. But it's definitely given him some momentum, right? It makes him feel like he might actually have a chance at winning here. Good micro from red on the mangonel.
Oh man, how a bit unfortunate there for Warwolf to not get a conversion. I felt like he had timed that nicely, but yeah, that castle's going to go up, Dave. Instead of denying that stone, you're going to deny the next one, I guess. And I'm with you. You look at all the eco upgrades, and the fact that Mongols are going to get to that castle, and you still feel like Admiral's going to win this. And maybe it is a player who wouldn't typically drop a castle, but they decided, I'm so far ahead, who cares? Even if it gets denied, I'm going to win this, so. But if it is a player who would never drop a forward castle and they're watching right now, screw you for messing with our minds. Because I think a lot of people are really starting to think about this Admiral player. That moment right there might have confused you.
Well, I think the castle in and of itself there is fine as long as you send the 8 villagers together to begin with.
That's true.
But he started building that with 2 or 3.
That's
and
true.
then he had like 5 or 6 more following up. If you send all of that together at the beginning, that castle goes up.
Well, this does now give Warwolf a target. If Warwolf can get Imperial Age first, drop a castle on the front, and go for Trebs, you take that castle out and Mongols are suddenly less terrifying. But as I say that, Admiral is on the way up, Dave. And it seems like Admiral will even have a second castle soon. So, danger, danger.
Just looked at the eco upgrades for him as he's getting wheelbarrow right now. Still no second wood upgrade. Still no horse collar. Horse collar, I almost called it. Should call it hearse collar.
Sounds like I thought you were saying Huskarl for a second. I was going to say Guts aren't playing here, so.
No, just another meme to add to the catalog.
What was?
And just now getting wheelbarrow, so really struggling on eco upgrades.
Did you see that monk? Warwolf had the relic, and then just, it was almost like he donated the relic to Admiral, so Admiral would have mercy on him or something.
It is a strat.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see how it pans out.
These are some late eco upgrades. Look at Warwolf. You've got a knight and 3 spearmen grouped up to go counterattack. This is unique. Okay. Well, he's focusing on a million other things right now, and the most important thing is dropping that castle. You just cross your fingers at this point, and you think, please, 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 let me be up to Castle Age first. Or not Castle Age, of course, Imperial Age.
Yeah, let me be up to Imperial Age. Let my enemy run all his military into my demo ship so that he can't mass Magadai. Let my enemy go AFK for 5 minutes.
Yep.
And then I'll be back into this game.
I have to say, though, Dave, while there have been close moments, Admiral has seemed a better player. I know this game here. Ultimately, you think back to the early game and Warwolf not having a lot of food. Even by his own doing, not having a lot of food. Both with eco upgrades and the sheep. But Admiral has just seemed more on top of it. You now see Mangadai here. He'll take out villagers to extend the eco lead.
If you're in Admiral's position, you don't even need to push that middle area. Just hold the middle area and then prevent blue from expanding out on the right.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, here we go. I was just a little bit ahead of live action here. We see the Mangudai come in. They were just passing. Villagers didn't even notice either, though, and so we'll see these villagers go down now. But yeah, just hold the middle area. There's some risk to it if you start putting all your castles in the same spot, too, so I like how he spread them out.
That army from blue going along the marsh, it's just like, we gotta be sneaky here.
Oh my god, dude. That was so funny. Hey, there's a demo here. Let's go. Oh, and the micro, too, to micro away from that. That was so good from Admiral, and I would even say that's unnecessary. It's okay to lose a few light cab, but he's paying attention to every unit. And the demo? Hello? Well, there we go. Get some kills, Dave. But as the castles start to need to be repaired anyways, I'm just not seeing Warwolf. It's his final game. He knows that, so he's going to continue to try, but not seeing a way back for the Trebuchet.
Yeah, he won't be able to hold the middle, and he won't be able to expand on the right. And those are his 2 win conditions right there. And, and not even win conditions, just survival conditions at this point. And he's not going to be able to do either. As the Hussars come in, and they're going to snipe a Treb, they might get that second one, too.
Yeah, I honestly feel like 1 Treb is enough. No way Admiral's going to be lacking stone, so that castle will be repaired. And then plus you get the repair villagers. I feel a bit bad for Warwolf. I always feel bad when I can tell players have realized that they're probably dead, but they continue to try, Dave.
Yeah.
But that's just, it's competitive Age of Empires. And the Hussars even get in there. Oh, that's unfortunate. That hurts.
And in about 1 minute here, there's going to be like no wood access for Warwolf. Okay, he's taking back that wood line, so he'll have that for a while. But the resource availability for him is looking pretty scarce.
Yep, Hussars come in. And we will see Trebuchets go down, definitely. And this is all before Elite Mangudai. Look at that queue, though, from that forward castle from Admiral. Actually, both the castles have so many Mangudai queued. It's crazy.
Is that Treb going to... Okay.
Nope.
I would have lost all faith.
Repair villagers are something else, though, so... Yeah, Dave, Warwolf's going to have to call this one soon. And Admiral has really looked on point, and I haven't seen... Admiral doesn't come off as a huge nerd to me, you know? Doesn't necessarily seem... And I know Viper straight up admitted to us in Hidden Cup 3 that sometimes he'll try and hide his identity in this tournament, but... Hasn't seemed like Viper, Hera, Leary, any of those players. Might be another big name out there who just has great strategic play, and Warwolf played well yesterday, but just not good enough here.
It kind of, like, some of the greedy moments kind of seemed Viper-esque to me. Like that cross game, the greed there kind of seemed Viper. And then the greed here, going for that castle, like sending 3 villagers at first and then following up with 5 way behind.
Maybe.
Kind of seemed like Viper, and this game is over, man.
It's
like,
over.
I feel for Warwolf because he wants to compete, wants to get deeper into the tournament, continue the set, but this game is over, my friend.
You see you're below 100 population. You can stop microing your Arbalest now. You know, just take your hands off the keyboard and say GG at this point. And Chad is forced to salute Warwolf and wish him well in future tournaments. But whoever Warwolf is out. And what a solid way to start off the quarterfinals, Dave. I felt like that was a really fun series to cast. Do you agree with me on that?
Yeah, we had such good variety, especially in that second game, the cross game. The comeback from Warwolf to get himself back into the series, and then this game, just unfortunate for him, that start.
Overall, with strategy, it felt a little weird in even game 1. Like, Man-at-Arm forward, it was just a disaster for Warwolf, and then on Islands, maybe, that was super competitive. That one you can justify losing. Here, you're not scouting the front of the base. Actually, I wanted to check to see if that boar was in vision here. And I'm going to use Capture H Pro to go all the way back to the beginning. I have to know, Dave, because what are the odds that boar was sitting there? This is super cool. Wait, what am I doing? I can just click back here. There we go. Okay, so boar was already stolen at this point. Okay, boar is already stolen at this point. All right, let's see. Nope, there we go, people. He knew it was there and sent the sheep forward and the scout to the back. I think against Mongols, that is a big mistake. It's easy to say now, but in a tournament where laming is allowed, and you just got that one boar as the target, got to have your scout at least over here to try and get a block in. But all right, ladies and gents, sorry about that. I was just curious. I thought it would have been pretty crazy if the boar was in that tile or something. But we have 3 more best of 5s today. 3 more best of 5s in the quarters. And if you've been paying attention, this is what that bracket looks like. We've got the Admiral going on to the semifinals, which will be tomorrow, in a best of 7. The winner of Senjata and Gonzalo Pizarro will face against Admiral, and we'll see who that is next. Ivelo and Edward Longshanks, and then John the Fearless versus Philip the Good. Some crazy games to come today, so don't go anywhere. Before we take our short break, though, I really want to hear from viewers. Who do you think these players are? We should have a poll on screen, and you can vote for who you think the Admiral is by typing a number in the chat. There's been so many people. We had initially an extension, but the servers couldn't handle you all. So the extension voting wasn't working. And we also made a tweak overnight to try and get some of the data picked up a bit more accurately with this, because it wasn't like the percentages seemed consistent, but I don't think we're getting all the numbers somehow. So vote, please. And yeah, those numbers are skyrocketing up. You just have to type a number. We have a lot of Viper votes there. So Viper, Doubt second place with 25%, and then Jordan. So players all on the same team. Feel like it could be someone like Dogao. It could be someone like even Mr. Yo, truthfully. It's tough to say. I cannot wait for that reveal. But many people feel like, Viper's got to be out there. And maybe people have they have the other players pegged as someone else after watching the games yesterday. 41% think it's the Viper. Okay. Interesting. So I'm not even sure, to be honest. And I know I guessed during the cast, guys, but I'm not going to put a huge amount of effort into trying to nail down these names before that reveal. I'm just excited for that reveal tomorrow. Now you can vote on who Warwolf was. Warwolf, a little tricky for me. A player who liked to forward. Looks like we're seeing some leftover votes. You guys got to pay attention to the clock here, because now you're voting Doubt, Viper, and Jordan again. Unless you thought that Warwolf was Jordan, I suppose. And that's fair. The forward in game 1 really has me thrown, The caps lock GG, the forwarding, it makes me think Vivi. It'd be a very Vivi thing to do. And
he had some quick wall moments too.
That too,
which kind of throws you off. But at this point, all our pro scene can quick wall a villager in, so even Doubt can do it occasionally.
The other thing is, Dave, like last Hidden Cup, saying that Vivi would have won round 1, or like Backed would have won round 1, or a few names, it would have been kind of a surprise for us. But I think the level's so close, and with random seeding, you never know what the matchups are. That it's not too crazy to me to think that Vivi could have won 3-1 like the way he did, make it here to eventually fall to the Admiral. So I would probably say Vivi personally, but
it's the caps lock GG that gets me.
I know.
I think Vivi might have done better with that landing on islands though.
I thought it was pretty good, to be honest. Like it was, the scouts were everywhere. The villagers stayed alive. It was just Admiral, whoever Admiral was, played really good. But okay, so people are saying Vivi. I think yesterday people voted Warwolf as Doubt, but I'll have to go back. We do have data on that. It will be fun after all is said and done to see what the viewers voted.